Thanks for stopping in. Here's a little overview, not overview, retro view walkthrough-ish thing for Atlanta ToyCon 2023. Yeah, it was a thing. So this is when you first walked into your left. I guess there was a group in Atlanta that does cosplay and stuff, and so you could sign up and get together with them if you wanted to. They had cards and stuff that you could take. Kind of neat. Nice little touch, I think. And the other way you'd walk down, and so you started having vendors off to the right. T-shirts, toys. Oh, there's an ET.
Yeah, I looked at him.
Okay. The things you see when you're going back and looking at the pictures and video. There was a giant poster.
Yeah.
90210.
I looked at that too.
Yeah, I know. I showed it to you. If you. Oh, someone had an R2-D2. There's a diorama. There's the Muscle Men. Those were it's the same seller that I talked to last year about picking up Muscle Men from, and I didn't even bother asking him about like a price or anything for those guys. I was just like, you know what? I didn't care for what you said about them last year, so no, you can hold on to them for another year. I mean, I think he may have sold some of them, but
Most of the same.
yeah. I think those were some Battle Beasts. Some different games. So we show some video of walking around and just seeing what there was to see. I mean, it was a big space, it was a bigger area, but like overall we weren't really impressed with the new venue. It didn't have the same feeling. But here's some footage of me walking around and trying to take video and not getting people's way and whatnot. It was kind of crazy, but there was some cool stuff. There were some Dino Riders and lots of Master of the Universe and custom figures and new figures and plenty to look at.
Always G.I. Joes.
Always G.I. Joes. We got a guy selling a Star Wars book for the vintage collection.
So we have like a notes section that has all that in there.
I come over, a guy was selling a bunch of Lego sets. I didn't really look a ton at those. It was, I don't know. I got so distracted with taking footage. You guys can just look. There was a bunch of G.I. Joe stuff. This next guy just had random bits and pieces. There's some pops and then a bunch of comic books. Somebody made a sale. And then we ran into some people that we knew. You guys better be behaving.
Oh, hey.
Not even there they are. How are y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. You guys selling too?
Oh yeah, it's very hard to get around.
Which area are you guys in?
We're next to the main room, but we're in one of the little side rooms.
Okay. Hopefully we can find it.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna do a quick break and do our pickups, and then there'll be a little bit more of a tour at the end. There'll be timestamps down in the description if you want to jump straight to that, or if you want to jump to the pickups. There's some more G.I. Joe stuff. Some Motu. Lots of Motu over there. Alright, and now for some pickups. First, a couple things, or one thing we didn't pick up but we really wanted, and then with the pickups. So this was Alf, and we carry around our Alf doll with us to all the conventions that we go to now, and it's a good conversation starter, and everyone's like, oh, where'd you get it? And so we were like, oh, it would be great to be able to get this one. This guy we actually picked up a couple cups from, and I think he had $35 on it, but we didn't want to pay that. and we'd already bought the cups. And we asked him about. He also had some the puppet elves. We asked him about those, and then this one. And I think I told him, $20, and he wasn't willing to do it. So yeah, maybe that'll be around next year. But I didn't want to pay $35 for it. He wasn't really willing to work with the price on Alf, which is strange because it's like, yeah, a lot of people ask about him, but not a lot of people are taking him home, are they?
He's still here.
Yep. Well, here's some cups, or no, I guess I should say glasses. We got Heathcliff and a couple ET glasses.
That's not
Is that Garfield?
That's Garfield.
Garfield. I get them confused on occasion. And then, was it the Batman Forever BK glasses? I don't remember what was on that one, Munchkin.
On what? What's on your BK Batman cut glass mug?
Batman and the Bat Signal, I think.
Batman and the Bat Signal. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
All right. So that was actually most of our pickups. We did get a couple other things. Munchkin got some hair barrettes from the same people that we picked up hair barrettes when there was the Middle Georgia Comic Con in town.
Yep.
But we got a Garfield mix or match storybook. I thought Prince saw it and was excited about it.
I saw it too.
Munchkin was excited about it. I thought it was cool because, it's you flip the parts over, and then it makes a story. And so this one we've got is Garfield the circus cat was riding an elephant. Let me see if I can. So Garfield the circus cat was riding an elephant on the fairgrounds when a gorilla leaped out and led him to a dark alley where everything was made of jelly. That sounds like a mess. But when I had speech class when I was younger, the teacher had books like this. Not this book, but several different ones. And I don't necessarily remember all of the exercises and stuff we did, but it was flip, 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 flip. And they were dedicated to certain sounds and stuff so that it would help you practice those sounds. But so I thought it was really cool to pick that up. So it has something for all three of us. Although when the Munchkin goes off to school, she's not taking it with her, so.
She can come home and visit Garfield.
Yeah, she can come home to visit Garfield, and then maybe we'll get a high. A GameCube game, Magical Mirror, starring Mickey Mouse. I don't know much about it, but Prin is a big fan of Mickey and Minnie, so I thought it'd be interesting to play. I think I paid $10 for it. Same guy though. We actually got the book, the game, and this Spider-Man 2099 from the same seller. So
He was cool.
it was neat. We bundled them together. I don't remember how much it was, but it was less than $20 for all three of them. But I like pretty big Spider-Man fan. So I thought it was cool. Spidey 2099. He doesn't have the webs underneath his arms. But I thought that might be something that could be attached with some cloth or something. Make a set of wings or whatever. But we were excited to go, and while we were there, I don't know. We just got, all three of us were feeling meh.
Could not get into it.
Meh, couldn't get into it. I don't know if it had anything to do with the pricing, or, maybe that played a part into it, but, there was no one thing to be like, okay, this is what's going on. It was weird, because, we paid to get in, which that was weird. They had a cash line and a credit card line, but they didn't have them, labeled easily. And so you'd walk up and you'd be like, are you paying with cash or credit? And I think we said cash. They're like, oh, well, you need to go get in the other line. And so at that point, it's just never mind, we'll use a credit card. And didn't we have trouble with one of the credit cards?
Yeah, I think mine, that it wouldn't take me to get out yours or something.
Yeah. And
or vice versa.
I don't know, maybe that was just the start of everything going downhill.
They didn't have a clear map of how to find stuff. It was there was not a good flow. There we go.
There wasn't. And parking was just as bad or worse than the other location. So it's at a hotel. The hotel parking lot was pretty much full, and so many of the buildings downtown or downtown in Atlanta have stuff, such and such business parking only. Violators will be towed at owner's expense, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, I don't know if we can park here. I mean, it's Saturday. That business isn't even open. But so we parked like half a mile away or something and and walked and didn't stay long either. Like, we walked around maybe a couple times. The main area was not well lit. Hope you saw that in the video. It's just, I don't know. We all walked out just like feeling
It was also extremely hot.
Yes, which might have been why they didn't have the lights on in full blast in the main area. But I don't know. The convention's just
When the
so
vendor
far I've not
tells
been
you to
impressed.
turn on the flashlight on your phone to look at their stuff, there's a problem.
You had someone tell you that?
Yes, they're like, it's better if you use your flashlight on your phone. You might want to turn that on.
No. No. Holy cow, that's crazy.
It was one of the guys like on that back edge,
Yeah.
and I was looking at something, and he was like, yeah, it was interesting. Maybe next year will be better. Maybe they'll figure out the venue, and the venue will figure out them, and
Yeah, they'll figure out that you need to turn the air down to 60 something before everyone starts showing up to cool off the space, so it's not so hard for the conditioning units to keep up with it.
the vendor said they were miserable.
Or did they?
A couple of people back there were like, we are so hot, it is so miserable in here.
Yeah.
So they weren't
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, Pixel Dan was there, and I'd forgotten to grab my Masters of the Universe book and have him sign it. And I didn't even stop by to talk to him because I was just like, I felt just like, bleh, whatever. For everything. Everything just, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old for this, but I mean, I'm looking forward to the video game conventions coming up. Southeast Game Exchange and Southern Fried Gaming Expo coming up next month in July. So, but
I'm excited for those.
those are, I think, part of the things with both of those is we get to meet people that we don't see otherwise, and I don't know. And there's nothing like if we were in a little meh rut. There's nothing to pull us out of it, like for Toy Lanta or for the Atlanta BrickCon.
Well, I love SFGE because it's at the hotel, so if you need a minute to
Yeah.
decompress, you can.
Which, I mean, I guess we could actually try to get a room for Toy Lanta, and that might be something to try next year, depending where it's at and how much it costs.
Yeah. That'd be a thought. We shall contemplate it between
That's
now
something to
and
think
next
about.
March or whenever it is.
But I mean, we'll go back next year and hopefully have a good time. Kind of interested in possibly getting a booth so we can take some more stuff that we've collected, and it's just like, okay, it was cool at the time, and now it's just like, why am I holding on to this? So it might be worth trying to get a booth for a couple days too.
Munchkin and I are avoiding pop figures now.
There's pop. There wasn't a ton of pop figures there, which is nice because those are everywhere.
I'm thinking a lot of people have gotten in the same rut that me and Munchkin have of, okay, there's
There's
only
just-
so many walls in our house.
Yep. And if you got to put them in a box and put them someplace and you can't appreciate them, it's like, eh. Same with anything else that's collectible, I guess. But I guess not a raving endorsement for Toy Lanta, but there was just something that was off, whether it was the convention or whether it was all of us, because traffic wasn't horrible.
No.
The parking again was a pain, but I don't know. They need somebody out there telling people, you park there, you park there, you park there, and just sit there and line people up. And so, because we got there shortly after it opened, and it was packed.
We've loved it in the past. I have hopes that we will love it again.
Yeah. It's not us, it's you. Or it's not you, it's us. We'll figure that out next year,
Hopefully it was just us.
Hopefully it was just us. But we'll see.
What do you think, Munchkin? Got any thoughts?
No, I didn't like it. Okay.
Well, I mean, we all were meh, and but why do you think? Do you have a reason for why you didn't like it, or was it just there was something that was off?
There was nothing I wanted to buy. Like, nothing was interesting. It was all just boring.
Well, there was a bunch of, or not a bunch of, but what was it? That stuff that you were looking at? Was it Scooby Doo? In that first area when you go to the right and you hit that like corner area.
That
The
round room.
like the retro toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was okay, but I wasn't like.
But what were they?
There was the Ace the Bat Dog one.
Yeah, Ace the Bat Dog. There's some Batman stuff.
Yeah.
But I did not look like hard like I did previous years just because I didn't something was off.
Nothing felt like it was worth spending money on. Like it was like, oh, that's neat. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Continue.
And that was probably because the prices were kind of high and
there was no flow. Like
yeah,
the
Mommy
rooms
said,
were all weird.
yeah.
I think that
And
was
maybe we
part
should have gone to the main area first because we went off to the right and around in all the different side areas and then went to the main room.
I think the first time I went by the main room, it was so packed, we thought, oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
They had flow issues. I think that's why part of it threw us off, maybe.
Yeah. But we'll check it out next year. Give you a follow-up report. It's, much less than a year away now. But 9 months, I guess. It's June, next March.
Yep.
Thanks for checking it out, everyone. Hope everyone has a good day. We'll catch you next time. Bye. Bye now. Bye. In this room, there's a few comic books. There's some Fantastic Four, some Masters of the Universe stuff. A lot of the Masters of the Universe stuff was a little bit too much for me. I like adding it to my collection, but I want stuff that's not too expensive. Spider-Man over there. Always interested to look through some of those tubs with bag figures just to see what you get. Oh, there's the 2000X Castle Grayskull. Look at all that Spider-Man. And look at that Spider-Man. I actually asked about the price for that, and I was like, and it wasn't bad. I don't remember if it was like $50, $75, and it was in great shape. But I was like, I have nowhere to put it. And I think we started talking about possibly trying to attach it to the ceiling or something, but ended up not picking that up. There's some mini comic books from Master of the Universe. And this one had some really neat, you can see right there, some Dino Riders. I don't collect for Dino Riders, and it's something I wouldn't mind getting into, but again, the price and the space, you gotta have the space for it. And those Spider-Man mechs were kind of neat. And they had a bundle price for those. Look, it's some puppet alien life forms. Our favorite alien life form, Alf. Been trying to get around in the booths and stuff was kind of rough at times because one person gets in there and it was kind of it. But there's some more Dino Riders. Miscellaneous loose tubs. I didn't go through nearly enough of the tubs. I should have gone through a lot more. Maybe we should have just bolted for that exit right there and just called it a day. Going up and over people's heads, holding the camera up above my head, trying to get what I can. But there's Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain up in the top. No idea what they were running for. Bagged figures, tubbed figures. Oh, look, Star Wars. There's so much Star Wars out these days. I mean, look at all these baby Grogu or baby Yoda. There's some Lego Mario and Lego Star Wars. They had the Advent calendar for Christmas. Small Gen 2 Transformers. That Millennium Falcon looked like it was in pretty good shape, and there's another one. Looks a little bit more discolored than the other one. Miscellaneous box. Beast Machines, Beast Wars, Star Wars, All the Wars, G.I. Joe, some different old bed sheets. You see on the left Transformers Generation 2 stuff. Underneath that is some Beast Wars. Has even some original Beast Wars, those are the Transmetals. Transmetal 2. There's a Dinobot right there on the top. Grimlock. Me, Grimlock King. Pretty sweet diorama right there. Didn't see nearly as many of those this year. We may have just missed where they were, which was easy to do. Got some graded comics. Like you want Snake Mountain in a box. For a lot of the vintage stuff, the box doesn't matter nearly as much to me as just having the loose figure in halfway decent shape, and even then the accessories aren't a must either. And there's Brendan the Munchkin looking at the pops. Spin around. What do we find over here? I can't tell. Oh, and right there's a bunch of like doll heads. If you want to make custom figures or something, or replacements, there you go. Some custom goods. There's a Hulk. I wish I got more on that sign. Making custom figures. Lanta Vintage Toys and Comics. I'm gonna have to look them up. But man, just trying to get through the crowds. Out of my way. A few gaming stuff here and there. See some Uncharted 4 collector's edition or special edition or whatever it might have been. That was a cool looking figure. Some of that stuff in those big boxes was like, oh, those are awesome. And they have a pretty awesomely big price tag to go with them. Unicron. Oh, there was Spider-Man. Mosquito, I think? Don't know. Now, this is a different room. This is in the main room. Yeah. It was warm in there. And I think they turned the lights down a little bit later. There's G.I. Joe stuff. Coming up is Pixel Dan. I'd say he'll be on the right, but you'll see it when we get there. I needed to zoom in on more of the stuff. Oh well. There we go. And there's Pixel Dan talking to somebody. So irritated that I forgot to bring my Masters of the Universe book for him to sign. Ended up not even talking to him. I barely looked in the booths after I finished taking video walking around. There's a bunch of Masters of the Universe stuff there though. No! My fingers! That's Toy Federation. Still gotta get to that shop Maybe this year we're going to go to Sigi. There's some G.I. Joe stuff. I didn't even get close enough in to look at all that stuff. I don't remember what it was when I did go back. It's like G.I. Joe. This guy had some Lego stuff, some a little bit older Lego stuff. Some Bionic Man, a $6 million man. I almost said Bionic Commando. That was not Bionic Commando. There's all loose weapons and stuff for the Joes. There's a 12-inch G.I. Joes. Oh, some animation cells. I totally missed those. Destro's Toy Den. A lot more G.I. Joe stuff. I don't really know anything about G.I. Joes. I watched the cartoon as a kid and enjoyed it. That's about it. A bunch of loose and stuff there. I didn't even go down the center aisle. This is where he picked up one game. Not Luigi's Mansion. This is also where we got the Spider-Man and Garfield flip book. Actually, in that tub right there with that Garfield. And I asked about that Spice Orange GameCube. I wanted it, but he couldn't go down low enough, and I was like, I can't do it. Gotta do it. I don't want to spend the money. The one on the left had the Muscle Men. This guy right here had, with all the cups, is where we picked up some of the cups, and it had the Alf that we did not pick up. Really wanted the Alf, and actually I think you just see him on that screen right there, where he zipped by. But you gotta have your price you're willing to pay for stuff. And if it's too much, you gotta be willing to walk away. Cool case of Transformers. The smaller figures. And yet another room. A bunch of Japanese candy cases. Some big vehicles for G.I. Joe stuff. Bagged figures. Bags and bags for days. Newer Spider-Man figures. This wasn't a very big room. They do the big room and then they just start renting out basically like overflow rooms. There's some 2000X Motu. Look at that turtle van though. Yeah, that turtle box just sticking out there. I don't know. I imagine it got kicked a bunch of times. Turtle stuff, some 3D printed dragons down there on the bottom. Some really nice, larger figures. I got the back of that guy's head really well. Another small room. Some dragons. That's Ultraman. Custom art. Oh, that Transformers Constructicon is pretty cool.
Can I get your bag and put that in? Please.
Yeah, nice little cups. Oh, My Pet Monster. I'd really love to get a My Pet Monster, but again, the prices for them are a little bit out of my range. Oh, you had an Alpha Puppet on there too. Those seem to be rather plentiful. And yet another room. The ones right here were in the Middle Georgia Comic Con that we went to earlier in the year, where the Munchkin got the we got the Munchkin her bat hair bands. Steel City Toys is where I picked up some Musclemen and some California Raisins from last year. Comics. It's horrible. I forget who these guys are. Tom, I can't make it out. The Claw. Makes me think of the Animal truck. You see that AT-AT, C-3PO sketches. Those are pretty cool. Toys, toys, and more toys. Can you believe it? There's toys at a toy show. Liberty Base. Oh, there's a Masterverse Battle Cat.